Hi there. How are you doing? My name is Instrucko Kamath, and today we are gathered for doing the creative writing classes. So this is a series which is going to be three different episodes, and this is the first episode. Okay, so you are going to see three different episodes, and this is the first one. So let's begin the creative writing classes. Okay. And I'm going to show you all the first screen, students. Instrucko chapter name is genre. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to see about the different types of genres which are there in creative writing. Genres, in other words, mean the different types of writing. Okay. So let's begin. Welcome. Let's start. So, as I said, genre. What are going to be the learning outcomes of this chapter? Okay. So here we are going to basically write collaboratively with other students, improve your spelling, punctuations, grammar, overcome the writer's block. So, when you get into creative writing, it is very, very important to have a lot of creativity, imagination, flow of thoughts to be there in your mind, right? So, how to overcome this block, writer's block? Well, this is going to happen in the creative writing classes. Okay. Then we are going to research events to inspire your creative writing. A lot of events, okay, in our episodes. Brainstorm ideas with or without visual or written aids. Plan and structure short stories. How about writing, starting with short stories first? Okay. So if you love reading and if you are a reader of so many novels and you have a library of books that are set in your house, and now you also want to start writing, right? But you get stuck and you want that support. So that exactly is why you should be choosing creative writing class, right? Okay. So after short stories, we start with short stories, promoting story writing by blurbs, know your audience, establish a setting, creating an atmosphere. So all of these ideas are there in our creating writing chapter. So this was an introduction. Let's begin with the class. Yes, are you ready? Okay. So I want to tell you, dear, that let us learn something about some common genres. Okay. And let's start this. So the learning outcomes from the creative writing class is the topic, the discussion, the writing, and emotional intelligence. Activity number 1. What is genre? First of all, this is a French word, so it is pronounced genre. Can you say it is g, but we say j, genre. Okay. So definition is from the French word. It is a type, a kind, a style, a category of fiction. Okay. This is the definition of what is a genre. So there are different types of genres as you can see on the slide. Okay. So genre is comedy. Let's see genre number 1, comedy. What is the meaning? It is intended to make an audience laugh. Example, Captain Underpants. Okay, so this is one of the famous written novel, and this is one of the character from that story. So it is having a very comic sense, a comedy genre to it. Okay, so this kind of a books are written only on based on comedy. Fine. Now let us see the second type of genre, which is detective. Now, what is a detective genre? This genre involves mysteries and attempts to solve serious crimes. So if you like to read mysteries and about crimes and about robberies, then you know what? You need to write something based on this genre, which is the detective genre. Okay, so it involves mysteries and attempts to solve crimes. For example, the famous example, of course, Sherlock Holmes. This is the picture. The third kind of genre is fantasy. Do you know what is the meaning of fantasy? Yes, you're right. It is a type of imagination. So it is set in a fictional world, often inspired by real world myths. Okay. So it is something imaginary, something we can say also magical, right? Yeah, you're right. Like even the fairy tales are a part of a fantasy. Okay. Now, example here is the Lord of the Rings. Here you can see the little girl on her unicorn. It's a fantasy writing. If you read this novel, you'll find it is a type of a fantasy novel. Okay. So you see dear, all these three genres are different from each other. Okay. Then the fourth kind of genre is horror. Oh my God. So horror means it intends to make an audience feel scared. Goosebumps. Goosebumps is the name of the novel, horror novel. And here you can see the image of the same. Okay. So this is written, it is set in such a format that it creates a sense of horror in the entire story. Okay. It is nail biting and it is very scary. Fine. So that is the speciality of a horror novel writing. Then is science fiction. Now, what is science fiction? Is it related to how the plants are growing? No, it is about something which is futuristic and dystopian linked with new technologies. Okay, like for example, dear, cats versus robots. Cats versus robots. Can you imagine a book which is written with some cats and robots? Now, how is it going to be like? A science fiction, the bond between these two type of characters, right? So these are called fictional writings, okay? And they're referred to as science fiction. Here you can see a robot image, okay? Now, which one is your favorite? Among this, which one is your favorite? Oh, you like comedy. That's good. And detective as well. Okay, that's good to know, dear. So we are going to do those, okay, in detail after the chapter. Okay, especially those ones. Yeah, it's noted. Comedy and detective, right? Okay. So can you think of any other examples of genres? Do you know about any other genres which are not listed here? Hmm? Yes, you're right. There is something called as comedy horror or horror comedy. You know what is this? This is neither pure comedy or pure horror. It's a mixture of both. So the horror character could be a little comedy kinds. Okay, so it's called a horror comedy. Okay, or we can also go for a detective science fiction. How about a robot being a detective, right? So that is a mixture of these two genres. Got it? So this can be other examples of genres, which is the types of writing. So it's very important, dear, to identify that which type of writing do you like to start with. You know, many novel writers, like for example, Sherlock Holmes has written a plenty of only detective novels, and his is the world-selling novels. best-selling novels. Sherlock Holmes is known for writing only detective um, novels. Okay. So like this, there are so many other authors. Got it? So please note down this on your book. Going ahead now to the next slide. Okay. Okay. Now there is a game for you. Conventions, characterizations help us to identify genres. Okay. So listen, now see here. What we have to do, you have to match the images on the right to the genre you think they best match with. Okay. So see, genre is quirky characters, slapstick humor. So, which one of these falls in slapstick humor? Look here. Which images? Is it this? Correct. You get 1 point. Good job. Okay, that's a image for a slapstick humor. Very good. Well done. Go for the next one. Detective genre. Okay. So here, suspects and clues. Oh, you already know it is this one with the black hat? Okay, let's see. You're well done. It's correct. It is this man with goggles and hat. This is a CID detective. Good. Now, before going ahead, I would want to tell that this activity will help you to, remember the type of genre very well. Okay. Going to the next one, fantasy genre, magic, mythical creatures. So, dear, what can we put there? Is it this? Which one? All right. Correct. That is your fantasy, mythical creatures image. Okay. Going to horror. Horror, nightmares, supernatural. Is it this? Do I put this? No. Okay. This is going in science fiction. Okay, you got it right. Correct. So there you have it. Your favorite horror character. Full points. You got 5 out of 5, dear. Okay. So good. You want to note this down? No, you don't have to draw. You just have to know. Like, for example, in genre, quirky characters will fit in comedy. Okay. Then in detective, there'll be suspect characters. Okay. Which will be in detective. Then in fantasy, you can write, there will be magic. So some sense of magic to be there in the writing. Horror, think about everything supernatural which you would want to believe. Yes. So that is your supernatural powers. For example, something is flying in the air. Okay. Or by moving the finger, something is happening on the other world, on the other side of the world. That is supernatural powers. These are the few of the things and inventions of science, which you can see here, such as the computer and our latest technology. So is it clear? These are the different genres. So which of these conventions appear in multiple genres? Try to use books, as examples. So I know one thing that you read a lot of books, correct? Which one? Which one do you read? The Snow White? Okay, so Snow White falls in which category? Fantasy. Very good. And which other story have you read? Hanuman. Okay, so Hanuman is also there and Lord Rama. All these kind of stories are mythological. That is one more very good. Okay, that's a new genre you have told about. That's an entirely new genre, mythological stories about gods. Okay, so that also you can note down. Fine. Okay, now moving on to the next slide. Activity time. Okay, Listen, today we are going to do about 4 activities related to Matilda's story. Okay, in today's episode, you are going to see these 4 activities about Matilda's story. Can you see the images? Okay, now, dear, this one is the movie cover, the movie poster of Matilda. And this one right here is the book cover of the story, Matilda. Okay. So these are the movie poster and book cover. Fine. Now, question for you. Write a description of the book cover, left, and the movie poster, right. Okay. So this is the book cover. And this is the movie poster. As you can see here, the characters from the movie. So what can you describe? How can you describe these two? Can you tell me in 3 sentences for each? What are the different things that you see uh, on this book cover? First. Yes, you're right. Hmm? The girl loves reading. She's standing on the pile of books. Well, she does not have a bookshelf, but she loves her reading and she's read so many of them. So isn't that a great story going to be about this little girl, Matilda, Roald Dahl's Matilda? Okay. This illustration which you have described here, very good. She's read plenty of books. What else do you see? She's on top of the books. Yes. So that shows that, when she's standing on top of all the books, she knows about all those books. So it's illustrated by Quentin Blake to show that this girl, Matilda, knows about all these books and she's right on top. Okay. Very good, dear. So this is how the book cover can be described. Okay. The girl is a very, very good reader. Girl is a very, very good, yes, book reader. Well done. Just like you. Okay. Now we'll go to the movie poster. What do you see? What can you say about her expression here? Is she sad? Is she angry? Okay, she's mysterious, right? And oh, very nice. And she has this people on her fingertips. Excellent, excellent, dear. Correct answer. Nice way of describing this book cover. Yes, she seems to be a naughty little Matilda having the people on her fingertips. So wouldn't you be curious to read this story and watch this movie, right? So that is the idea of the book covers. The book cover needs to have that sense of curiosity to the reader to pick the book. Okay, there are more things, but that I'm going to come up with that. Okay, that's coming later on. Question number 2 from this. Can you tell which genre this book belongs to and how? Which genre from this? Fantasy? Okay, why do you say so? And comedy also? Okay, sure. Now tell me, why do you say so? Now this we have to just guess. Fantasy because she cannot keep people on her finger. Okay, 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 good. And that is also part of supernatural then, her supernatural powers. Okay, good. And comedy because, oh, you find these characters in the bubble funny. Okay, so we can say it's a comedy, fantasy kind of a genre for Matilda. Okay, fantasy because of her powers that she uses in the story. These are created by the author. Now, dear, next question number 3. What do you think the story is going to be about? Think, 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 think. What do you think it's going to be about? Yes, correct. Well done. Okay, so you're right. It is going to be about with Matilda as the center character of the story, who is the mischievous, naughty little girl who loves to read books and also has the supernatural powers of making things around with her fingertips. Yay, excellent. That was a very good answer. Okay, so you see how book cover is so important in creative writing. Nice. Let's move ahead. Okay. Matilda extract. I'm sure now you want to know some small extract from the book Matilda. Read and discuss the extract below from Matilda by Roald Dahl. Identify all of the unusual words or phrases used to describe the children. And what impact do these words have on us as the reader? And which genre best describes the extract? Okay. So now, till now, you have described the genre based on the book cover. Now we have to read this and then also find out whether it is matching with what we said last. Okay, regarding the book cover, what about this extract? Then what do we say about the genre? Okay, also, dear, we have to find out about the unusual words or phrases used to describe the children in the story. Okay, would you like to read? Okay, please read. Very good. Yay. That was a good reading. You are a good reader. Okay. So that's very nice. That you read very well, the stories. You know, you read so well because you've read so many books by now. Okay. So even the reading is very convincing, very interesting, very nicely read. Good job. Now we have to find out the words and the phrases used to describe the children. Hmm? First one. Correct. The child is the most disgusting little blister you could ever imagine. This is number one. Let's go to the next sentence and see for more. Revolting offspring. The brilliance of their own revolting offspring. Okay, revolting offspring means a person, the kid that does not listen to the parent. They are revolting, they are rebelling offsprings of the parents. Okay, this is the second one, phrase used to describe the children by the author. University based, you're going to be sick. Your daughter Vanessa has no hearing organs at all. My God. And it is comparing it to the grasshopper. See, grasshoppers have their hearing organs in the side of the abdomen. And your daughter Vanessa, judging by what she's learned, this term has no hearing organs at all. This is also a term, phrase, which is used to describe the children. So we have found 4. Well done. Good, you are right. Okay. So these are the 4 phrases. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4 used to describe the children in the story. Okay. Now tell me, what impact do these words have on us as the reader? Rude parents, okay, rude elders, yes, and poor children. Do you think that is why Matilda was making plans against the parents and the elders? Isn't it? Because look at the type of phrases that they have used. So is it a drama? Is this genre a drama? Kind of. Yes, it's a dramatic genre. Okay. So as we moved ahead, we have remembered more genres, drama, mythology. Then we also discussed about horror comedy, right? More genres. Please write it. Okay, so drama. It's a dramatic genre for Matilda. Written? Good. Let's move ahead. Yes, the correct answers right here. Disgusting little blister, revolting offspring are strange ways to describe the children. The grasshopper jokes makes it clear that we are supposed to laugh at these descriptions, which means that the text is a comedy genre. Do you agree? So this one is a comedy genre. So drama, comedy, all aspects, what you call as spices in the Matilda extract. Yippee! Now time for video. You're going to enjoy this video. This is a part of the movie scene Matilda. Okay, this is the second last activity. So hook on. How now see, after watching the video, you should be able to answer these two questions. How similar or different is this to the opening of the book? Hmm. And what impression do we get about the characters? Let's play. Oh no, you loved it. Wow, so nice. Yes, the characters are indeed very funny, and Matilda is playing around so well to support her friends. Oh, that's good. Story of Matilda the Great. So very nice, right? So it is very different from the opening of the book cover, right? In the book cover, we saw that she's only reading books, but look how her story has progressed. So we see the progression of Matilda in the movie. Okay, so that is how it is different from the book. They have built up on it. They have brought more characters into it. Okay, and created this movie through creative writing. So everything is possible first with creative writing. We are able to create new stories, new plots, new parts of the stories, you know. So like this, it is possible. One last slide for today, based on which I'll be giving you the homework. Okay, so let's go there. Blurb. Matilda Wormwood is an extraordinary genius with really stupid parents. Miss Trunchbull is her terrifying headmistress, who thinks all her pupils are rotten little stinkers. But Matilda will show these horrible grown-ups that even though she's only small, she's got some very powerful tricks up her sleeves. Okay. Now this is the blurb, which is there. A blurb, dear, is there the end of the novel. We saw the cover of the novel. So when you turn the back side of the novel, you will see that this blurb is written. There are blurbs for all the novels. Okay. So this blurb is written by the novel at the end of the novel. Fine. So activity based on this homework, rewrite the blurb to change the story's genre to detective fiction. You can use the prompt below if you need help. Okay. So what you have to do, for example, Matilda Wormwood is an dash detective, very intelligent detective. You can put adjectives here with a crime to solve. So you see the first line has been changed here. What are we doing? We are changing the genre to detective fiction from drama or from comedy. Got it now? So this is where you have to sit for 2 minutes and think that you have to make it into a detective blurb. Just this blurb, these 4 lines. Matilda Wormwood is an extraordinary genius is changed to Matilda Wormwood is a intelligent detective. Got it, na? With really stupid parents, with a crime to solve. Fine. So this way, I'll be giving you this homework to change the next 3 lines with a detective genre in mind. Some adjectives that you can use is like criminal, detective, or robbery, crime, suspicion, suspect, okay? Things like that. Prison or mm, forensic uh, forensic science, they find at the crime scene, they go and they see for samples, for analysis that who is the detective, who is the robber, or who has done the crime. So forensic experts do that. They are all related to a detective genre. Okay, so these are the type of words which you can use to convert these lines into the blurb. I will be putting some examples while I'll upload the homework to you. Got it? So I think we should be ending here today's episode number 1, dear. Okay, and I will see you at the second episode where we are going to take up a new extract. Okay, today we have done the types of uh, creative writing, and we have done the extract video blurb from Matilda's story. All right, so see you for the next episode. Bye.